there's a lot going on eating with the hands, and I noticed that you did that too, and it was a mess. I tell you, Tony, it was a mess.
Well, it was easier in some cases that you can have a more proper grip with your bare hands rather than your knife and fork.
Meet Palle Bo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything, his house, his car, his furniture, and set out with a quest to visit every single country in the world, documenting everything along the way. This is the Radio Vagabond Podcast.
This episode of the Radio Vagabond podcast is sponsored by Hotels25.com. Hotels25.com searches all the top travel sites to find the best deals on more than 430,000 hotels around the world. Hotels25.com, it's best price guaranteed. So now I'm in Singapore here with my good old friend Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Yeah, well, we haven't known each other that much. We met in Manila, and you said if you come to Singapore, come see me.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I did, and you gave me my own room, and I'm staying with you. It's very, very nice. Thanks. And now you are going to show me a bit of the city that you've been living in for the last 20 years.
Yes, we are. We are going to head to a Buddhist area, and after that, we'll just explore the town, and we walk around for a bit.
So not only do I have a place to stay, I also have my own private tour guide.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
Doors are closing.
You're 31 years old and you've been living here for almost 20 years, but you're originally from Bali.
Yes, I am.
Do you get the question a lot, why did you leave Bali?
A lot. More times than I can remember.
Yeah, but it was as far as I understand, your dad that said you and your brother and your sister, you need a good education, and you can get that somewhere, and you could choose from different places.
Yes, I did. Yeah, so I was having a choice between Malang in East Java, Indonesia, as compared to Singapore. And so with my brother's previous experience in Malang, which is
tough boarding school.
Yeah, tough boarding school. You have to wake up 4 a.m. There's no warm showers, and I will choose the other way to go to Singapore instead.
It was not a hard choice.
It wasn't really. Yeah.
But now you're thinking of you might stay here.
Yeah.
You feel very local.
I'm pretty much assimilated into the local cultures and stuff. Yeah.
So after your education, wasn't it your dad's plan that you should go back?
I mean, like most of the Indonesian Chinese, when they send their kids abroad, like most of the time they are expecting their kids to go back and help them in terms of running business and stuff. But he wasn't really expecting that out of me. I don't know, because maybe I'm like the second child and I have my brother back. He doesn't really like push any agenda if I should go back or not.
But then again, Bali is not that far away, and I guess that you go there quite often.
Once every 6 months or so,
And we're on the MRT, which is the underground. Well, in fact, we're overground now, but we're in the western part of Singapore, and we're going towards the city now. So Singapore is a very multicultural place. People from different countries live here, and you have 4 different official languages.
Yes, there we have English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil as the 4 official languages. And a fun fact, like the national language is Malay. And
I thought that was English.
English is like the first official working language, but the national language, because it's just like the oldest civilization in Singapore, being like the Malays, and so Malay is the national language. But surprisingly, like not a lot people studied that.
A lot of Chinese here as well.
Yes, majority, like probably about 60% are Chinese, and then about 20%
Well,
Indian.
Chinese inheritance.
Chinese descent, yes.
Yeah.
And about 20% Indian, 10% Malays, and another 10% of others culture. So, yeah, these are like so-called the 4 official classifications, racial classifications in Singapore. Yeah.
And it's one of the richest countries in the world. I saw a chart where it was number 6, I think. It's a rich place, and therefore I guess also a quite expensive place to be.
Yes, it is. Comparatively to the other Southeast Asian countries that you'll be traveling to. Yeah.
Kuala Lumpur is a few hours away in Malaysia, and when you go there, prices are totally different.
Yes, so a lot of Singaporeans actually like goes to Johor Bahru, which is like about less than 1 hour's drive away from Singapore to get groceries during the weekend. Like some of them do. Yeah.
We do that in Denmark. We just go across the border to Germany and then get beer and wine.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah. I mean, it's very similar. I mean, both Malaysia and Singapore are British colonies, but Singapore is Chinese dominant, whereas Malays are Malay dominant. So there's a kind of like they are similar yet very different.
Where are we?
We are in the Bugis Street area where people can shop for souvenirs, sample some local snacks and stuff. And some locals actually come here, mostly the students, if they are looking for a cheap like fashion deal, so they can like just mix and match shirts
or a funny t-shirt.
Yeah, funny t-shirt. I love
Imagine
Singapore.
they have an I love Singapore t-shirt. I would never have guessed. And wow, Minions.
Oh well.
Nasty.
So now we've arrived to Little India. There's a gate that's beautiful with a lot of colors, a big gate and a bird with flowers and stuff. And I'm here with Tony, my private tour guide.
Oh, it's supposed to be a peacock, by the way.
It's a peacock. Damn it. And you're the total expert on Little India here in Singapore.
Oh yeah, total expert in exclamation mark.
No, well, you told me that you've only been here a few times, and it's normally a special time of year where they have some kind of a festival.
Yes, they do have Deepavali festivals. They call it Diwali in India, which is to kind of like to celebrate the victory of good versus evil. Yeah, so it happens like towards the end of the year, probably like in October or November time frame. Yeah, that's where they have lighting decorations throughout the whole street in Little India.
Well, let's see if we can find some cows on the street.
Yeah, we'll try our luck.
But probably not. This is probably a lot different than the India that we find in India.
Yeah, probably no cows, much cleaner.
But a lot of Indians.
Yeah, as you can see. Yeah. Probably like okay, we are here right now on a weekday. Probably not as much if you were to come on a Sunday, because we have a lot of mostly like migrant workers who are like in the construction business, who are of like Indian or Bangladeshi descent. So they will spend their off days on a Sundays along Little India to get their supplies and just to hang out with friends. Yeah, so it'll be like super crowded on a Sunday.
Well, Tony, we just had some Indian food here in Little India, and there's the whole thing here in Asia about knife and fork and how you eat is so different than what I'm used to. Of course, a lot of places you use chopsticks, but it's very rare to find a knife on the table.
Yes, not in not on Asian tables. Yes, not a lot of knives.
But why, especially when you get some meat that's more easy to cut with a knife than with a spoon, then why?
I don't know.
I'm holding you responsible now. You're Asian.
Oh yes. Oh, probably it's just easier for us to eat with our hands.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was gonna say, because there's a lot going on eating with the hands, and I noticed that you did that too, and it was a mess. I tell you, Tony, it was a mess.
Well, it was easier in some cases that you can have a more proper grip with your bare hands rather than your knife and fork.
Well, I've tried it in all the countries I've been in so far. Not so much in Hong Kong and Macau, but still.
Do you use your hands in KFCs? I don't know.
I do. No knife and fork in the KFC, and I must say that when you eat a pizza, it's going to be eaten with the hands as well. I totally agree on that. But this is like sticky stuff.
Yeah, and rice.
Yeah, but it's quite an experience. Let's move on. By the way, do you have some chewing gum?
No, I don't. Sorry. It's illegal to own chewing gum in Singapore.
It's illegal to own chewing gum in Singapore. I've looked for it in shops. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, pretty much you cannot buy chewing gum in Singapore. Yes. Well, you can buy a chewing gum. Probably it has to be prescribed.
It has to be prescribed?
Yes, it has to be prescribed either by a doctor or a dentist for some dental issues.
Really? What about bringing it into the country?
Oh, well, as in a lot of people actually bring in chewing gums from nearby countries. But when you bring into the countries, it has to be like of a certain amount, and it has to be like an open package. It cannot be a sealed one. Yeah.
You wouldn't be caught smuggling chewing gum into Singapore.
No, there was.
They have the chewing gum sniffing dogs.
I had like this one. Like my brother told me, he was on a trip to Johor Bahru, Malaysia, which is about less than 1 hour drive from Singapore. At the custom, like one of his friends tried to smuggle in a package of chewing gum, and it was caught. So his friend were brought into a room and give him a dustbin, and the officer actually asked him to open all the chewing gum and throw it into that dustbin, like every single package of chewing gum. So he bought like, I don't know, a few packs of it, like boxes. So he has to open the chewing gum one by one, separate the packaging and the gum itself, all dump into the dustbin. So yeah, pretty much like almost a whole hour in there.
Man, that's interesting. By the way, you still have some orange sticky stuff on your fingers.
Oh yeah. Can keep it as souvenirs.
Tony and I also passed a Buddhist temple where a lot of people were kneeling. As an Indonesian with Chinese descent, Tony is Buddhist by default, as he calls it. So he knows what's going on. The kneeling people are shaking a cup with small sticks until one of them falls out of the cup. Which stick and the way it lands is giving them guidance in their life.
Yeah, so they want some guidance from the god, and yeah, so they shake and a bamboo stick supposed to fall out, and yeah, there's a number in there, and then there is the red color wooden block, and then you go outside to have it read, like depends on what you're asking, love, career, health, whatever. So yeah, the guy outside will kind of like interpret it for you. So yeah.
Are you a Buddhist?
I am Buddhist on my identity card.
Okay.
Because again, Indonesia, all Chinese like by default are Buddhist. Like, so I mean, you have to have the religion on your identity card, and there are only 5 official religions: Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, and Catholic. Yeah, so you have to have one of these 5 religions written on your IC. Yeah, so like
You cannot be an atheist.
No, you can't. you have to go through kind of like Buddhist teaching in schools. So they have like religion studies. So all the Buddhist kids will kind of like study about the religion, and that's how I know a little bit about Buddhism.
What happens if two sticks fall out?
You have to repeat again. Yeah, until you find the one.
The one.
I'll be selling myself now, man. Promoting myself.
After a long day of walking around Singapore, Tony and I took an Uber home. And we got a ride with a driver that, well, I feel he's seen a lot of American movies, man. He was a cool dude, so I decided to poke the microphone in his face, much to his surprise. So what's your name?
My name is... Okay, my name is Saiful here.
Yeah. And how long have you been an Uber driver here in Singapore?
For roughly about 22 months, to be exact. Yeah, man. So
you know the city better than anyone?
No. There might be some other people that's way better than me, right? Yeah, man.
Yeah. But are you born and bred here?
Yep, born and raised here, a local here, and I'm proud of it. Yeah, man.
It's a great place to live.
It's a hot place.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and expensive. And well, it is a great place to be living in, man. For the past couple of years, I did some traveling, and I don't know. As always, people are saying the grass is greener on the other side, but I kind of like it here, man. It's so much safer, and you could just go out at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, right? And you won't have to be scared.
What's your passion and dreams of life? What do you want to achieve?
I want to achieve $1 million.
Why?
Why not, right? I mean, why not, right? Yeah, there's a lot of...
More importantly, what do you want to spend it on?
A condo, a luxurious car, traveling the world. Yeah, man, basically, yeah. And maybe a couple of wives.
Couple of
wives?
A couple of wives. Yeah. Why settle with one?
Yeah.
We're almost at the end of this one, but let me share a little bit from the next episode of the Radio Vagabond podcast. But first, I'd like to mention the sponsor of this episode, Hotels25.com. Hotels25.com searches all top travel sites to find the best deals on more than 430,000 hotels around the world. Hotels25.com, it's best price guaranteed.
In next week's episode on the Radio Vagabond podcast.
In the next episode of the Radio Vagabond podcast, I will continue my tour around Singapore with Tony.
I think they describe it as a ship on top of 3 pillars or something.
In this one, we go to the downtown area and also to Chinatown, where we eat some Chinese food.
In Chinese, so they have like a lot of types of dumplings. They have like the open one and they have like a closed one.
Also, Tony tells me the story of why he hired a man to change a light bulb in his apartment.
There was one time that I had to change a light bulb, and I do not own a ladder to go up. So
if you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on theradiovagabond.com. Pale can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.
My name is Palebo. Thanks for listening. See ya.